for being on today. I know it's a beautiful day here. I'm here in Washington, D.C. My name's Amy Holmwood, and I have invited a lot of, please try to mute your lines, everybody, too. We have the honor of being with somebody who I met recently. Actually met her at the Pro5 Summit out in Utah last winter, not too long ago. And I was out there with my Taiwanese team. And I was really impressed with Sarah Harding and some of the work that she's doing on the technology side of helping to really build her business in a more robust way. And one of the things that has been an evolution for me in this business has been looking at how technology has advanced. Since I've been in the business for 6 years, it'll actually be 7 years in August, which is kind of scary when I think about that. My friend Cheryl sitting next to me, she was my first distributor, and then she didn't do anything, but now she's working with me, so I'm so excited. Just as things have changed, and as we have continued to build this business properly, and really looking at duplication and how to duplicate our business, I was still stuck. And so I started building out a website and a portal for my team. And it was still complicated just because we have a lot of different ways that we build our business. And so a lot of people are using Facebook, Instagram. A lot of people are using LinkedIn. They're using different ways to connect, which is awesome. But then one of the disconnects was, how do we take people that we meet in these types of venues, not necessarily the face-to-face meetings, but also when we're meeting people in these social media environments, how are we training them and bringing them into our system without having exposed them to our more old-fashioned way of growing the business? So I felt really stuck, and so I had an opportunity to meet Sarah, and she's building something that was exactly what we were looking for. And it's still in process, and she's still working on it, but she has somebody, please mute your lines, you guys. She has someone who works with her. Her name's Kendall, who's actually an educator and someone who builds really education systems and curriculums for programs. And so she looked at everything we had and said, wow, we can build a curriculum around this that will be the ABCs of how you enroll in this business and all the next right things to be doing. So I worked with Sarah to see what she had. And so today what we're doing is we're just going to have Sarah walk through this system that she's using and that she's continuing to build. And we're not really looking for feedback at this point. This call is really introductory. And I know there's people on here who are not in my team. And I always want to open up everything that I'm doing to the whole company, because it's a collaborative effort. And I think that's one of the reasons my business has grown so well, is I've actually worked with Crossline and just really found people that have great ideas. And also I want to be able to encourage others who maybe don't have an upline that's working with them necessarily directly, to be able to help them, because this is really what this is all about, is creating one team. And I love that Sarah called her platform One Team, because we really are all one team. And that's really how we should be looking at our businesses. So totally excited that you guys are on. And Sarah, I'm going to turn it over to you. And there's probably going to be some stuff that you can just feel free to talk about what you feel like talking about. And, this is, as I said in the invitation, there is a cost associated with this program. I'm paying the cost for my team. And if anyone's interested in knowing more about that, you can talk to me offline, and I can introduce you to Sarah, and you guys can talk with her. I'm not making any money on this. I just want to bring everybody together to be able to grow this company to $1 billion, because we do get paid on the whole volume of the company once you hit the elite ranks. So I do want everyone to succeed. So it's awesome. So Sarah, I'm going to turn it over to you. And thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thanks, Amy. I'm really excited to be here. And I feel pretty honored too that you would trust me with your team. So thank you for that. As Amy said, I do work with Dr. Kendall Bashir, and she is a PhD in education psych. So together, me being a systems person and her being a curriculum person, we put that together with technology. And that's how this came about. And when people started asking to look at it, we opened it up because it is called One Team. And so I think you'll like that. It's pretty much plug and play. I'm going to do some screen sharing here in a minute, but I do want to say if there are any questions at the end, I'm perfectly happy to answer them. I don't want to waste anyone's time, so we can also do it offline in another group if you'd like, another chat. So I'll go ahead and share my screen. I'm just going to walk you through as if you were coming to the site for the first time. So it is oneteam.training. There's no .com. That's not a weird thing. That's really what it's called. And so, as Amy said, she's sponsored her team, so they can just come here to log in. Actually, if you are on her team, you would come here and request access using a special team sponsor code. So if you're curious, this is completely automated once you have been sponsored. But if you aren't sponsored, you would just come here to enroll as a new participant of the training. And once you come into the training, this is what it looks like. And we have married the concept of belly to belly building as well as online building, because I pulled in someone, Stacy King. We met at Global, well, obviously back in October. And so over the last month, we've worked together to kind of incorporate a few more training pieces, because her team strictly builds belly to belly, so person to person, not so much online. And so I originally had created this just for online. We've put these two things together, and that's what Amy meant by it's still a work in progress. We've put the finishing touches on it recently with those two concepts. But just to kind of take a look here, the way that my team uses this, when someone becomes a distributor, the very first thing we do is we send them a welcome email, and they will immediately be enrolled in the training. You know, just like I just showed you, submitting a password. And we tell them to try and get through this training within the first 24 to 48 hours. Now, if you have someone who's just sharing casually, they're not really a pacer, or they don't really plan to be, maybe they'll take the month to do it. But I've had someone complete this in less than 12 hours, because it's about an hour and 17 minutes in length, unless you watch every single product education video, which I'll show you those in a minute. So it's really not a long training. It looks like a lot of videos, because I thought the biggest issue I had when I was a new distributor is if I wanted to go revisit a training, you know, you have these amazing hour-long trainings that our leaders give us. If you just want to go revisit and say, what do I do next after this or after that? You have to watch the whole training or fast forward and rewind, and YouTube's not the best for that, right? So I broke everything down into 5 to 8 minute max snippets, and we try to be really specific with what you're learning, what the objective is in each of those, and that's Dr. Kendall's work, making sure you know exactly what you're supposed to learn when you get through with this. We have quite a few contributors. Michael Epstein, for instance, is here in this program. So we start at the beginning telling people, stop, don't go out and put that you work for LifeVantage on your profile, and don't go changing your resume, things like that, you know, right away, your resume online. And we talk about the Pacesetter program. And once they get through that, they move into the most common questions that your new distributors want to know, like, what do I need to do to get paid? Those first few questions, how do they set up their website? And we talk about the app. And once I'm beta testing the app. So once the new app is completely rolled out, there'll be a full app training on here. I have an older one. If anyone's still using the app, just let me know. I can share that with you. But I didn't want to put it in here because some of the features have been disabled while they roll out the new version of the app. But I do build using the app, you guys. It's a really great tool. Everything that you would want to talk to your customer or your new distributor about, it's in here. Sharing your cart, an emphasis on personal growth, and then setting goals. And the reason that you would want someone, even if they don't claim to be someone who wants to build a business or be a pace setter, the reason you want them to come through this anyway is because it's going to show them how easy it is to set goals and how simple it is to follow the plan and actually become a pace setter. Because as some of you might know, by doing it yourself, it's not as difficult as it seems if you just follow like a daily action plan and things like that. And with this system, my team has a 77% pace setter rate at this point in time. So anyone who uses the training and completes the training, 77% of the time they become a pace setter. So I feel like that's kind of speaks for itself. So getting them through this, there's a little set your pace guide. So there are a lot of PDFs in here. So instead of giving them a giant packet of information at the beginning, everything's kind of broken down into the training. And so after this, we begin training on the invite tool team, which is something that Team TrueBlue, which is Brandon Cunningham and Fred Graves, you know, something that they train a lot on. We found that what social media does is pretty much the same as ITT, but we weren't using the fancy little phrase. So inviting someone to take a look at a video and then sending them to a third party. So that's the invite tool team. So we do a complete training on this. And of course, the list building. And I'm just going to go back out here to this outline because most of that's just the basics of becoming a distributor. But I think what you'll find the most interesting and what kind of sets apart what my team has done in the past over the last 11 months compared with, you know, what's out there right now as training would be this. I call it the exposure system. And does that let you guys see the PDF? Thumbs up. Is it showing the PDF? Yeah, looks like it. People are leaning in, so it must be tiny. All right, let me make it a little bit bigger. So this is a map, and it is interactive, so you can click on it. So you have a customer interaction, and you want to send someone the tool, right? Your very first tool. This would be the ABC video. And this website does not link back to anything of mine other than the fact that my team is Team Revolution. But wellnessrevolutioncommunity.com is just a very generic website with tools on it. This is a version of the ABC video, but it's been abbreviated, and it kind of has some of the explanation of the difference between activation versus supplementation. The patents are linked here, as well as the 25, which needs to be updated to 26 peer-reviewed studies. And it says, ask to see the stories from our community. It's a button that doesn't take you anywhere. Okay, so it's not going, some people have asked, does that link back to your group? It doesn't. It's just a button that goes nowhere so that you can tell your prospect how to get into your customer capture group or whatever your team is calling it. So going back to this, after you've shown them the tool, they usually have questions. And so then, you know, if you're either going to send them your Vitality Stack video, which this is a 9-minute, 55-second video that goes through the 4 pillars of health. And it really talks about the Vitality Stack. And then here's a picture for them. Again, there's no links on here to take them to a cart or anything like that. And so here's the NRF2, NRF1 from the company, Dr. Maniscalco, which is one of the most popular and best converting NRF1, NRF2 videos that my team has ever used. And then all of these others as well. We have this one Stacey King did for us. It's 1:26 on Axio. Now, this website that I'm showing you, when someone goes to it, there aren't many links on here. There's the Wellness Revolution homepage with the ABC video. And there's an opportunity page, which is why this company, why this team, the income disclosure. And the reason there aren't links on here is for compliance purposes. I don't want a customer to stumble onto this and see the name Axio and then go to Amazon, right? So you as a distributor would be in control of sharing the exact link that you want them to see. Yeah, everyone loves that video, and it's just so simple and short. So that's why you won't see many links. And so that's why I created this PDF. And you can also, in my Facebook group, we have a digital document where we pasted all the links. So then you can have the links and you can save it in your phone and things like that. But this map is really to make it so simple to say, here's the ABC tool. Someone wants to know, well, do I need the Vitality Stack or do I just need the Duo? Well, you can send them both of these videos with a cart to both, and they can decide, you know, what makes your probiotic so great? Well, here's a link to this really quick video and you can take a look at it. So our app has some really great videos, but as you know, some of them are more marketing based and not very specific to the product and the ingredients and the specific benefits of it. That's what these focus on. These aren't, there's no wild claims in them, and there's not a lot of marketing speak. It's very direct. So that's the exposure system. It's one of the most favorite things of the training when I ask people what they like best. The next big thing would be the social media training. And I would be lying if I told you that this was the simplified version. There are some really simple steps in here, and how my team works with this. We'll have them go through the social media training. And once they get to step 5, we usually try to meet with them, and we'll figure out what their goals are. You know, how much money are they planning to make? Or what do they want to make? How much time are they going to devote to it? What questions do they have? And we craft their very first social media posts together. And the reason we do that is to teach them compliance. We teach them attraction marketing, and then we make sure that they say the right thing the first time they go out there. And so this would be the very basic information of that, and also the ad tag message method. And for if you're not familiar with that, that's basically where you add a customer to a customer education group, tag them in a post that's relevant to what they're looking for, and then send them a message and tell them that you did that. So we go over that. But in the bottom right now, it's in the frequently asked questions, is the what is attraction marketing? That's a 55-minute masterclass that I did for another team. It is very in-depth. So if you have been building on social media and you're wanting to take it to the next level, you would want to watch that video. but I put it in frequently asked questions for the moment because I don't want to take it out of this Path to Pro 3 type training, because I think it's great for a 3 going on 10, but it would scare a brand new distributor. I'll just put it that way. I mean, it would just be very overwhelming because building on social media can be a kind of a lifestyle, I guess you could say. Yes, some sample posts. It inside the social media, I believe it's this one, the after you post video. Oh, so it actually walks through a couple really good posts that people have had and what you do after you post. So I blurred out faces and names and things. These are people from my team though. But so we did a post like how you're starting the conversation, the evolution of the conversation, example of how to post and how to interact. So we use a couple of really good examples. Again, all the privacy issues have been covered here, but like, what is this? Do they have a kid line? You know, how to answer the questions on the post, learn when to respond in the comments or transition to private message. And I'm just showing you the stopping the screen. There's obviously a speaking video behind that. But so I go through that in there and trying to think. This one might also have some. No, this is an action step. So there's that. And we're going to have another video coming out. Actually, it's in here already. We edited it. Great. So this is a messenger conversation where we basically take you through the entire messenger conversation and talk about what to do when and how to overcome the objections and how to incorporate more tools. And if your team has other specific tools, you would still use them. This is just what my team has. And since I made it, I went ahead and put it into the training. So the social media and the exposure system, those are the two big things. And the third huge thing, probably the most pivotal thing about all of this, would be the tracking system. Sorry, I'm still getting used to the new organization. Hold on. I made a dummy course right here for me to play with while I was talking to you guys, and I blocked myself out of a lesson. One moment. Okay. There we go. When we edit things, we take them down for a moment so people don't get confused when we replace something. So that's what was going on there. So we have a daily action plan that I've made and put in here for everyone to use. It might look scary, but it's really not. It's very simple. It's just a bunch of check in the box for continued growth, conversation, you know, engaging in groups. And that really long training that I was talking about, it talks even more about how to go into groups. Like going into a group and saying, have you heard of Nerf 2? Have you heard about activation? That is the absolute worst way to go into a group and try to build a network. You need to be going in trying to build actual relationships. And I joke all the time, but I'm also serious when I tell my team, go find, if you're speaking to moms, if moms are that's your ideal avatar, and you love French Bulldogs, go find a moms who love French Bulldogs group and talk about French Bulldogs and being a mom. Because you're more likely to build friendships in that type of group than if you go into a health and wellness type of group, because you're going to have to bite your tongue because all you're going to want to do is share Nerf 2, Nerf 2, Nerf 2. And you're going to get kicked out of groups. It's not going to get you very far. You're not going to be seen as someone who adds value to people's lives in that way. And it's just too tempting and it's very difficult not to do that. So really you want to find a group that's more about your passions, like things you could talk about forever. And I hope that makes sense, but that's what the training kind of goes over. So that's where this create conversation and build relationships comes into play when it comes to the DMO. And just for fun, in the month of April, got to go backwards, it's already June. So in the month of April, I did the DMO every single day just to see what would happen. Not that I didn't know what would happen, but just to prove what would happen. I had 25 personally enrolled customers and 6 personally enrolled distributors. And that might not be a big deal to some of you that are at elite status, but I've been in the company for 11 months. So it's kind of a lot for me personally, but I just did the DMO as written every single day. And I use that social media training as well. That's a big deal. So this is this use a system to meet your goals. That's very important, using the tracker. And I have given access to a digital version of this tracker, but this is the paper version. So after you put people on your list, you want to get them from start to finish. And this is called the ITT tracker in your guys' training. Your first contact, have you given them an invite? An invite to what tool? So you would write if it was a video or Facebook group, you know, did you add tag message them, or did you send them a video, or was it both? Did you get them to the team? Did you do a 3-way conversation, or did you invite them to a presentation, or both? Then you follow up with them a couple times the first week, 4 times. Invite over the next 2 weeks, you'll follow up with them, and then, you know, how did it end? So if you can get 15 of these done in a month, you can be a pace setter. If you're trying to rank advance, you would want to do 3 to 4 of these sheets per month. So I personally have a goal of doing 1 of these a week in the month of June. So I hope that makes sense. But that is the system in itself. Is there anything else, Amy, that I didn't cover that you want me to cover?
I feel like that was a fire hose, okay? That was, oh my God, that was insane. So it's
Yes.
definitely gotten a lot more going on here than when I first saw this. So this is really cool. I can't wait to go and do this myself. I have to walk through this whole thing myself. You've done an amazing job.
Thank you. I would recommend it. And then I forgot to mention this right here, the learn about the products. When I say that it's 1 hour and 17 to complete all the training, that's not including this. I wouldn't consider these required, but these are videos. If you're a new distributor and you don't have any idea how to speak about Omega Plus, or you have no idea how to speak about physique, you can go here and get the down and dirty, because the PDFs are great, but how do you formulate that into sentences? That's been done here. The physique we're working on, because I guess they removed the beauty product, but I didn't get a notice about that. So I need to fix that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the way that you guys have done the videos in explaining the products is really something that is so helpful, because the company videos, they just don't explain the products well enough, as well as we want to explain them. And so I think that is something that is hugely, hugely helpful. So you've done a great job with that as well.
Thanks.
Yeah, so I think that's a lot of